Hello students, today we will learn about the forces acting on worm gears. When the worm gear is transmitting power, the forces acting on the worm are similar to those on a power screw. Figure 1 shows the forces acting on the worm. In this figure, we see the different forces acting on the worm teeth. So this WR is the radial force, WA is the axial force, and WT is the tangential force. In this diagram, this portion is related to worm and this upper portion is related to worm gear. It may be noted that the forces on the worm gear are equal in magnitude to that of worm, but opposite in direction to those shown in figure first. The various forces acting on the worm may be determined as follows. First, tangential force on the worm. If we see the tangential force, then which is indicated with WT symbol, so WT is equal to 2 into torque on the worm divided by pitch circle diameter of the worm, which is indicated with dW. The tangential force WT on the worm produces a twisting moment of the magnitude WT into dW upon 2, where this dW is the pitch circle diameter of worm and bends the worm in horizontal plane. So this is about the tangential force. If we observe this diagram, this is the tangential force, and this tangential force acts at a radius dW upon 2. Second important force which is related to this worm and worm gear is axial force or thrust force on the worm. This force is called as axial force because this is parallel to the axis of the shaft. So this force is called as axial force. So in case of axial force, which is indicated with WA symbol, so axial force is equal to tangential force divided by tan lambda, where this lambda is lead angle. So tangential force on the worm gear is equal to 2 into torque on the worm gear divided by pitch circle diameter of worm gear, that is dg. The axial force on the worm tends to move the worm axially, induces an axial load on the bearings and bends the worm in a vertical plane with a bending moment of magnitude WA into dW upon 2. So this axial force is directly affect on the bearing. If we observe this diagram, so in this case this WA acts in left direction or left side, so this and this cross section or this cross indicates the bearing locations. So as WA acts on left side, so it directly affects on this bearing, and it tends to move in vertical plane, and the magnitude becomes WA is into dW upon 2. Third force, that is radial or separating force on the worm. This radial force or separating force WR is equal to axial force into tan in phi, where phi is the pressure angle. That is radial or separating force on the worm gear. The radial or separating force tends to force the worm and worm gear out of the mesh. This force also bends the worm in the vertical plane. So in this way we discuss about the forces acting on worm gears.